This is The Guardian. It says the response to this, especially from many people, is to wonder, how do they get away with it? The unwritten rules of British public life are supposed to make such blatantly self-serving government impossible. Precisely. Almost every single thing that Boris Johnson has done since he became Prime Minister has been a resignable offence at some point in history. And usually these are things that are done in secret. And they sometimes get out, and the minister, whoever it might be, will resign or be fired. But this lot, and I keep coming back to it, it is what would Donald Trump do? That seems to be their guiding principle. What would Donald Trump do? Donald Trump would wake up and say something outrageous just to fire up his cult base and upset the Liberals. And this government do that over and over and over again, making announcements almost simultaneously that are guaranteed to upset a certain type of person. You know, people who have consideration for others, which is apparently a thought crime now, to have consideration for others. You are described as woke if you have consideration for others, and it's a bad thing. The Guardian says expressions of incredulity and outrage at the Johnson government have done limited damage so far. But a zero. People love it, his fans do. And sometimes have actually helped it. Right. By highlighting its unorthodoxy to voters who have had enough of politics as usual. You hear that in America. You used to. Well, you still do. Half of America still thinks that Donald Trump is their savior, sent from God. Oh, he tells it like it is, they say, about the man who lied 30,000 times during the course of his premiership. In 2019, and here it is, this is who we are. In 2019, shortly before Johnson became Tory leader, the Hansard Society found that 54% of the electorate believed that Britain needed a strong leader who is willing to break the rules. In other words, a dictator. 54% of us actually want a dictator. And I've been saying that for a good long while before I had heard of this Hansard Society poll. I've been saying that for ages. I just got the feeling, you know, talking to people on the phone that you would ordinarily cross the street to avoid, that I got the feeling that people actually want that really, really badly. They're in the assumption that a dictator would be acting in their interest, which is, of course, a pretty hopeful assumption to make. But that goes with the territory. You want a dictator, and you think that they will always act in your interests. They're not going to pick on you because you wanted them. Well, yeah, good luck with that. That's what we want. And we don't think of ourselves that way at all. 54%. And you think that the number is actually greater because people are admitting something that is socially unacceptable. So they might be a bit reticent about saying, yeah, that's right. I want a strongman dictator. So the percentages actually are greater than that. All we need is somebody with the brazenness to not care about rules and regulations, like Donald Trump. The reason he got away with so much is because he was breaking rules that hadn't actually been written down. It's just they just assumed that people the people in charge wouldn't attempt to directly benefit from the job. They wouldn't own a hotel that they insisted that he goes and stays in, along with 100 other people that trail behind the president, who are all paying over the top rate for their rooms. I mean, nothing's written down that says you can't do that, but the assumption was that nobody would ever have the nerve to do that. All you need is somebody who has the nerve, who doesn't have any shame. And I think we got ours. Ain't that right, Bodger?
Yeah. Wait a minute.